Hello friends, a big warm welcome, a special welcome during Deepavali to hear my story, and I'm Ammu, and here I am with a beautiful story for all of you. Today the story that I have for you is named A Precious Gift, that has been written by Usha Jayachandran, and the beautiful illustrations are done by Tejas Janardhan Kamble. Now, this story is very relevant to Deepavali because it has some very important message for each one of us. So, let us hear the story, A Precious Gift by Usha Jayachandran. Firecrackers are every child's delight and are mostly burned during the festival of Diwali in India. It is celebrated with zest and enthusiasm, with varied crackers lighting up the darkness, symbolizing the victory of truth over evil. Little do people know that firecrackers are made by very poor children who work tirelessly to bring light and joy into the lives of others. This is the story of a little girl and how her life finds itself traversing through the dark corridors of a firework factory in Sivasari. This is a story about a little girl, Meena, and I am Meena. I was born in a little uh, village named Sivasari and youngest of 5 siblings. My parents were casual laborers, and my elder brothers and sisters had to work hard to make ends meet for our family. Till the time I turned 6, I was usually left at home with my maternal grandmother, Maji Amamma, who lived in a house next door to ours when everyone went to work. Amamma was a really wonderful person, and I was the apple of her eyes. Her forever smiling face and her worldly wisdom, especially about Indian mythology, which she would share with me in a childlike manner, are indelibly inked in my memory. Amamma was educated till standard 8, and she loved to read a lot of Tamil storybooks to me. While I would be perched on her hip, I would hold some or other book and point out pictures to her, and she would look at what I was gesturing to and tell me about it in simple language while I clapped in glee. Amamma was a voracious reader, and she loved music, and I think I imbibed both of them from her. By the time the children in our family turned 6, they were sent to work at the fireworks factory. Amamma was more inclined to sending at least me to the village school so that I could learn to read and write. I dreamt about wearing a school uniform and having a school bag stuffed with notebooks too. It was on my 6th birthday when, in the morning, my mother handed me a small tiffin box, just like my other siblings. Meena, today you start a new phase in your life, my dear. You start work at the fireworks factory as they employ children from the age of 6 upwards. Amamma's vehement protest with folded hands about at least keeping me out of the fireworks factory fell into deaf ears. She could do nothing but bid me a tearful goodbye. I didn't quite understand what the fuss was all about, and when my mother sent me off, I went with my father, holding his left hand, clutching my lunchbox in my right hand. It was a long walk to the factory, and I hopped along cheerfully, as this was the first time that I was out of home and going to be on my own. It felt rather thrilling to my child's mind. My father stopped at a small, dingy little office. I followed my father down a dimly lit corridor, and I glimpsed into the various rooms running off it and was greeted with a not very friendly and a rather unpleasant sight. The small little rooms had children ranging from 6 to 10 years, sitting huddled together, bent over newspaper sheets which had the material they were working on. All the rooms were dimly lit with single lights hanging overhead, and the whole place had a very musty and damp smell about it. I noticed that the rooms had only one ventilator each, high above and close to the ceiling, with no other windows for the passage of air. My father left me in the designated room, saying, "Come home with your elder siblings in the evening, okay?" I shuffled into the room quite enthusiastically and sat down beside a few children who were working on rolling firecracker powder. Every day when I returned home from work, Amamma would give me a thorough bath and make me clean my face and nostrils well with water. I never saw Amamma look happy or amazed at hearing the description of the crackers that I was learning to make. I was a quick learner and grasped the intricacies of cracker making quite easily, and therefore I moved on to making the more complicated and delightful crackers pretty fast. My bragging about the crackers that I was learning to make did not seem to impress Amamma at all. Her foremost concerns were whether I was able to see and breathe properly. I would scowl and say, "Mama, I'm okay. Please stop asking me all these silly questions." It was only many years later that I understood why Amamma was so concerned about me. The cracker making industry, which was a cottage industry, employed child labor because of the keen eyesight and nimble fingers of the children, two essential requirements for the trade. Exposure to firework powder coupled with unhygienic and unhealthy conditions posed a serious health hazard for the children employed there. I made a lot of friends at my workplace. My workmates and I would sit around, huddled together. Most of us would bring a little bit of rice and some vegetable curry if there had been any to spare at home. We shared and relished whatever little we had with us to eat. Almost all the friends I had made at the cracker factory, Simba became my best friend. Simba was as nutty as a fruitcake, and I loved the way he made a joke about anything and everything, making me laugh uncontrollably at times. I remember how he once tied a long string of crackers to the tail of the local mongrel that lounged around in the factory's backyard. When the crackers went off, the dog jumped and yelped all over the yard in fear, and we had a hearty laugh. Suddenly, Simba stopped coming to work. I got worried as to what would have happened to him. I stopped by at Simba's place one evening on my way home. To my alarm, he was huddled up in bed. He looked very pale and was weeping uncontrollably. I sat next to him, held him tight, and asked him what the matter was. After a lot of cajoling and coaxing, Simba spoke in between sobs. "My eyesight has become very weak and I'm unable to breathe properly. I feel choked all the time and sometimes I bring out blood when I cough. I cannot see properly anymore. I'm so scared, Meena. I don't know what is happening to me." And I felt a sudden prickly sensation of fear creep up my back. All the questions that Amamma used to ask me about my eyesight and breathing when I got home from work came rushing back to me, and they started making a lot of sense. I did not know what to say. I ran back home and screamed, "Amamma, Maji Amamma." I cried out loudly as I gave her a tight hug from the back and burst out into loud wails. When my crying and trembling wouldn't abate, Amamma gave me lots of kisses, stroked my back, and tried her best to calm me down, making me sit in her lap, wondering what had happened to me. I felt comforted after a while and spoke up. Maji, Mama, I don't want to go to work in the cracker factory anymore. Please, 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 you need to help me so that I don't have to go back to work there. I told her about Simba. I don't want to lose my eyesight or be unable to breathe, Mama. Please tell me what to do and how can I protect myself. Mama helped me tied and comforted me and consoled me, saying that she would really do her best. After a bath in the river, we both prayed to Lord Shiva, asking him to show us the way for my salvation. It was Amamma's younger brother who came as my savior, quite out of the blue. We used to call our granduncle Kutti Mama. He used to sell locally made cotton saris and would travel from village to village on his colorful scooter with large bundles of saris strapped onto the back. It was the week of Diwali, and there was a big sari exhibition in the neighboring village called Maraperi. Kutti Mama had come for the same. Amamma confided in Kutti Mama about all her fears and worries for me. Kutti Mama heard her out, and then he spoke something to Amamma. It was decided that we would all visit the sari exhibition a few days later on the eve of Diwali, which happened to be a Sunday. That much awaited Sunday arrived, and we all, my siblings, parents, everyone, left for the place. Amamma called me aside and said, Meena, please give this small box to Kutti Mama, will you? It's a small gift for him from me. At the exhibition, be a good girl and listen to Kutti Mama and do exactly as he tells you to. Okay? Urged Amamma as she kissed my forehead, and I sadly bade her farewell. I touched Amamma's feet before leaving for the exhibition, not realizing that it would be for the last time. I looked back to where Amamma stood, and I saw tears in her eyes, glistening brightly in the sunlight. Kutti Mama was waiting for us to arrive. We roamed around for a bit, and then Kutti Mama took us to a stall to eat something. Then he took me aside and whispered, Meena, when we are walking around the exhibition and nobody is looking, go and wait in the cabin behind that sari stall. Do not come out from there until I come personally to get you. All right? Since Amamma had told me to obediently listen to Kutti Mama, I carefully distanced myself from my family, and I got and went to sit quietly in the cabin as instructed. After a while, I must have dozed up. I dozed off there because I was tired and alone. Kutti Mama came in and sat next to me. Meena Kutti, we are soon going to set out for my village. While I was speaking, I remembered Amma's gift for him and handed over the small wooden box saying, Amamma asked me to give this to you. On opening the box, Kutti Mama found something wrapped in a fluffy piece of cotton with a note. Upon reading the note and seeing what was inside the cotton, his eyes welled up with tears. Your Amamma gave this to me along with a note, which I will read to you. He handed over the contents of the box to me. It was a diamond earring inside the cotton. I immediately recognized it as my Amamma's. It was the only piece of jewelry that she had, and it had been given to her on her wedding day by her parents. In the note, my grandmother had explained that the earring was for Kutti Mama to cover the expenses that he would incur in taking care of me and ensuring a good education for me. Kutti Mama gave me a hug and handed over the diamond earring to me, saying, treasure this all your life, child. It contains the world's most cherishable memories of your Amamma. We left for Kutti Mama's village, Avannur. That particular Diwali became a landmark of my life, as it actually released me from a life of darkness and led me into a life illumined with the light of education. My dreams of going to school became a reality because Amamma and Kutti Mama and I, since then, never looked back. It was many years later, when I was older and more mature, that I understood completely what had happened that day at the exhibition. My parents realized that I was missing. They had lodged a complaint at the local police stations, looked around here and there, and not finding me, they went back home sad and disturbed, assuming that I had either been kidnapped or probably had lost my way. Life at Avanur was a welcome change compared to Sivasari. My granduncle was a very kind and compassionate man, and so were his wife and children. He put me into a village school. I thoroughly enjoyed going to school, reading, learning about everything that they taught. I diligently prayed every morning for Amamma's well being and for my parents and siblings too. Time flew by, and because of my hard work and good grades at school, soon I was in high school and then to college in the city, where I decided to pursue medicine to become a surgeon. The years rolled on, and I embarked on the journey of learning medicine, securing admission in a well known medical college in Vellore. Kutti Mama told that Amamma's happiness knew no bounds when she heard that I had enrolled in the medical college. She had sent all her blessings for me. She particularly never met me all these years so as to not disclose my identity. My precious Amamma passed away just a year before I graduated from medical college. Her loss left me devastated. I could only take solace in the fact that I had fulfilled her dream. Your Amamma gave me her second diamond earring, Meena, as a token of gratitude for having taken care of you. Kutti Mama told me, because he had been at Amamma's bedside when she breathed her last. And now I would like you to have this too, he said, giving the earring to me. I broke down. To secure my future, she had happily parted with the only precious jewelry that she owned without even thinking twice about herself and her security for her old age. Do you want to go for your Amamma's 13th day ceremonies? Kutti Mama asked me. I said yes. I went back to Sivasari for the 13th day ceremonies of my Amamma. It happened to be Diwali, the day Amamma had passed away. I was welcomed with tears of joy by everyone in my family. Simba and my siblings hugged me exultantly and took me around the village, showing me off as the Doctor Madam of Sivasari. It was a reunion that brought happiness for me and pride for my parents. My mother wouldn't let go of me for hours and clutched onto me, sobbing uncontrollably, anguished and happy simultaneously. I became an example for the people of Sivasari, showcasing the benefits of education and the need for children to go to school. And very soon, the Sivasari factory was banned from sending little children to work there. I visited Sivasari often with my husband Rajan and twin daughters Shivani and Hamsini. I have set up a small hospital named after Meenakshi Amamma in my village. My dear friend Simba works at the hospital, and I have trained him to be a compounder. I strongly believe that children are our future and that they rightfully belong in school, where they can acquire a good education and secure their lives. Education changed my life, and I would like every child in this world to understand the value of education and go to school. No other gift can be as precious as the gift of education, and that is what my Amamma had believed and had gifted me. I was so happy and grateful for that. And this is the gift that I want to talk about as the most precious gift for Diwali. Friends, please give us a kind hearing and think about all those needy, poor little ones who work just for their nimble fingers and sharp eyesight to earn peanuts, to bring lives into our, making it full of light, bringing light into our lives at the cost of losing lights from their life. They damage their eyes as well as lungs. Stop using crackers. Teach the children, talk to them about the children like them who are not as privileged and blessed like them, who need to work and are exploited for just some money. Let us do our bit. Ban crackers. There are many other beautiful ways of celebration. I hope you've liked the story. Thank you for listening to me. Let me know how you liked it. And I wish you a very, very happy and prosperous Diwali, the festival of lights. Bring in education, the real light in your lives. Wait for me again when I come with another story. Lots of love.